Salon owners, big changes are coming. Recent studies show that stylists are moving back to employment-based salons, but they're only joining teams with real mentorship and training. If you don't have a plan to onboard new hires fast and set them up for success, you can miss out on some great talent. That's why I created the Salon Success System. It's a simple step-by-step way to welcome new stylists in their first month, start a mentorship the right way, and build an in-salon training culture that keeps people growing and staying. Get your systems ready now so you're not scrambling later. Learn more about it on my website at denisekailitz.com/success system. And remember, when you know better, you do better. One of the hardest conversations I have behind the chair goes something like this. A client sits down, looks in the mirror, and says quietly, "My ponytail is half the size it used to be." If you've been there, brushing your hair and seeing more strands than usual, or suddenly noticing a widening part, you are not alone. More than 50% of women will experience noticeable hair loss at some point. Today, we're talking about what's really going on, the science behind women's hair loss, and the treatments that truly help. Welcome to All About Hair, where we talk shop, share stories, and spill the secrets behind great hair and a great career. I'm your host, Denise Keilitz, a former salon owner, educator, and a lifelong hair crusader. Whether you're a new stylist building your book or just someone who loves learning about all things hair, you're in the right place. Look, hair loss is emotional. And I know we talk about hair loss a lot on this podcast because it is one of the main concerns I hear every week behind the chair. And it's actually one of my main concerns. So it's stressful, it's confusing, and to tell you the truth, it's often lonely. Social media makes it worse with miracle serums and quick fixes that don't work. But, plus women often think hair loss is just something men deal with until they start seeing their scalp peek through. Look, hair loss in women just isn't one simple condition. It's a mix of types and causes, which is why so many people struggle to treat it. There's female pattern hair loss, often a slow widening part or a receding hairline caused by genetics and hormonal changes, especially around menopause. Then there's telogen effluvium. You guys know me and my words. I cannot pronounce these words, but you know what I'm talking about. It is the sudden shedding after stress, illness, surgery, or even rapid weight loss, including on people that are on those GLP-1 medications like Ozempic or Wegovy. There's alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune condition that can cause smooth, bald patches. That is what I had. And then there's traction alopecia, and that's caused from tight hairstyles, extensions, or constant tension on your hair. When you don't know what type you have, it's easy to waste months and a lot of money on the wrong solutions. I once had a client who tried every supplement and oil she could find on Instagram, but her shedding just got worse. When she finally saw a dermatologist, it turned out to be something that was caused from extreme stress after a family loss. Within months of addressing the stress and starting gentle care, her hair stabilized. And, sometimes the right diagnosis just changes everything. It actually just gives you relief too. Here's what dermatologists say works and what you can start doing today. First and foremost, if you are concerned about your hair thinning, see a dermatologist first. They will do blood work, do a scalp exam, and medical history to help identify the type of hair loss. Do not skip this step, okay? They will probably, more than likely, maybe not, I don't know, prescribe you a topical minoxidil. This is still the gold standard. It's available in 2% and 5%. 5% works better for most women, but you have to be patient. It usually takes about 3 to 6 months to see any results, and you have to continue using it to see results. Remember that. Your dermatologist might also prescribe oral medications. This can be a low-dose oral minoxidil. It could be finasteride off-label, which can help with hormonal hair loss. And there's a few other things. And you know me, I can't pronounce them, so I'm not going to try to. Then there's laser therapy devices. Those are those at-home red light tools like the Hair Max or the laser cap. It can help stimulate follicles, especially when you combine with the minoxidil. And these laser lights, they do really work. We used to have a red light laser in our salon that was a little bit more powerful, of course, than the caps and the combs that you can get on Amazon. But the ones that you can use at home, they do still work. You just have to be consistent and you have to do it, follow the directions. You also want to look at your supplements. You want to start with a good multivitamin and a balanced diet. Nutrafol and the omnipeptides have encouraging evidence, but consistency and time are key. If you're going to do this, you got to be consistent. Then there's also some anti-dandruff shampoos, surprisingly but true. Ingredients like zinc, pyrithione helps calm inflammation and yeast that can worsen shedding. Even if you don't see flakes, it can still help your scalp health. And then there's also lifestyle support. You have to manage stress because you know cortisol spikes can push hair into shedding. You have to eat enough protein, iron, and vitamin D. Switch up those tight hairstyles, avoid chemical overprocessing, and wash regularly to keep your hair follicles clear. I've walked this path too, guys. After a particularly stressful season of business ownership, my own hair felt thinner. I had spots of balding. My daughter at the time, she stood behind me when I was sitting on the couch and she was like, "Ooh, Mom, what is this?" And I didn't even realize it. And I looked in the mirror and it was a bald spot at the back of my head. And then I started looking and I had like 3 or 4 of them. Talk about confidence killer. I was scared to death. I mean, I really was. I did start minoxidil. I started eating better proteins. I actually went to the dermatologist and got some steroid shots in my scalp. I don't know if that worked or not, but I'm just telling you, it's amazing. You will go to extremes for your hair not to fall out. And I also made sure that I was just giving my scalp a clean, healthy environment by using the right shampoos. And it made a huge difference. And yes, my hair grew back. It took a lot. It took time. It did take time. But hair loss can feel overwhelming. But understanding the why it's happening gives you power. And with early medical help, calling your dermatologist, proven treatments, and healthy hair habits, you can slow or even reverse many kinds of shedding. And if one approach doesn't work, there's always the next steps. You are not out of options. There's always something you can do. I'd love to answer your hair loss questions in future episodes because you might be wondering, how do I know if my shedding is just seasonal or something more serious? Is it safe to combine minoxidil with laser caps or supplements? Can stress really make your hair fall out? And how do you calm it? These are just some of the questions you might be having. And if you do have questions, send them to me by email, or you can direct message me on Instagram at Denise Keilitz. You might hear your question on a future show. I might answer it on a future show. I really love hearing what you guys are going through. Look, though, hair loss is complicated. But you do not have to face it alone. Seek a professional diagnosis, be patient with treatments, and take care of your overall health. There are solutions, and there is help, and there's hope. So for more education, make sure you subscribe to All About Hair with Denise on my YouTube channel And also follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Share this with anybody you know who might be having or struggling with hair loss. Don't forget to go over and grab my free hair growth protocol sheet. You could just type it in www.denisekailitz.com/thinning hair, no space. I'll leave the link in the show notes. Remember, when you know better, you do better. Thanks for tuning in to All About Hair. If you loved this episode, hit subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a fellow stylist or hair-loving friend. You want more tips, tools, and behind-the-scenes goodness? Follow me on YouTube or head to my website at dermatologist-led.com. Yes, I know it's hard to spell, so don't worry, the link is in the show notes. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep loving what you do. You know, when I first started building my salons, I struggled with training. It felt like I was reinventing the wheel every time I hired someone new, and it was exhausting. But everything changed when I created a real system for onboarding and education. That's why I built the Salon Success System, so you don't have to figure it all out the hard way like I did. If you want proven tools, templates, and strategies that help your stylist succeed and take the stress off your plate, then check out the show notes for the link. Let's make training the best part of your business.